So, as the heroes try to take in the fact that most of their friends have now been carded, they get visited by some others, both of which intend to help, even if one party ends up being misunderstood and starts acting crazy. People do get emotional when trapped and under extreme circumstances. So, hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we'll be talking all things episode 58 of the Yugioh Go Rush anime series. A fantastic episode that was beautifully animated and has some good dueling choreography, but also displays things like redemption, character development, and an emotional outburst, plus much more. Let's talk about it. Starting off, we're talking about Manabu's character. Now, I've seen a lot of people get upset about how the episode presented him in general. However, I personally have no issues with this, as the guy was hurting emotionally because for however long he had to, he was working under phaser, doing things he did not want to do or thought were correct. He was biding his time and trying to find the perfect moment to get that bit of information that would give our hero the edge in the war against him. However, he acted, and turns out that he was wrong. What he got ended up being useless at this moment in time. Add on the fact that all of our heroes now don't trust him, as this is a mixture of them being hurt after losing so many friends, and some of them not realizing that Manabu was acting all along. But even so, characters like Yugioh, who knew that he was acting, is finding it hard to forgive Manabu at this moment in time, and you can't really blame her for doing so. She just lost characters like Manya, Asaka, and even her brother Yuki. So Manabu's actions from this episode, of him sort of emotionally hurting at his friends not welcoming him back with opening arms, and with the realization that everything he has done up to this point, working under phaser, has kind of been redundant almost, because what he escaped with ended up being irrelevant at this moment in time. Now, this Dr. Manabu name, this comes up in links with Manabu's crazy and over-the-top actions within this episode. And he shows off a power-hungry side to his character in this odd behavior. Now, this does really remind me of Gakuting. You know what that is. This is from Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, and when Gakuto was in this mode, he was very comedic and over-the-top. Much different from his normal personality, and things seem to be heightened from those similar traits that he did present. Just like how Manabu now, here with all of his quirks, are over-heightened, and we know that Manabu and Gakuto have connections to the character of Gakuten, being obviously ancestral. So, I think it's okay to think that this Dr. Manabu gimmick is Manabu's Gakuting thing that we saw in 7's, and that's why I'm okay with Manabu acting the way that he did. Because of emotional overload and stress, he became Dr. Manabu. Now, the thing I really did like about the presentation of Manabu's character was the fact that although he lost to Zwijo, the show still made Manabu look threatening. It isn't like Zwijo managed to overcome and beat Manabu's maximum. Clearly. Instead, Zwijo had to bounce back the attack in order to win, basically showcasing that both Manabu and Maximums are still very strong, yet they can be defeated. It also does show in the episode that you can win against a Maximum user using difficult means, and of course without physically beating the Maximum itself, but it does open up the fact Manabu lost, but his Maximum didn't get defeated. Technically, it dealt the finishing blow, because the attack got reflected back at Manabu, but the relic never appeared. I thought that was a bit strange. Now then, let's talk about Zwijo. The show has turned him good, which is what most of us kind of expected. But the way they showed his changes, I thought was perfect. Seeing him call Danamu by his name helps us to see that Zwijo no longer sees the Earthdemar as a tool. Instead, he respects it as his own thing, and asks for its assistance, instead of demanding it. Now this might seem, not that big of a deal, but for Zwijo, in what we saw from him in Season 1, and that's quite a big step forward. Even the way they showed Zwijo using the Earth to Mars power is an example of his growth, as he only wanted his help in order to rescue his teammates. Now this of course comes after their attack with the anti-beam, showcasing that Zwijo is starting to care more about those around him and underneath him, which is something, again, we would have seen from Season 1 Zwijo, as he very easily abandoned Mitsuki. In Season 1, I could have seen Zwijo, if in this exact situation, leaving his teammates to suffer longer while he finished off the duel, instead of helping his friends first, then winning. We even get to see Zwijo smiling, and that smile contained things like kindness and delight, which is odd and slightly nerving seeing from Zwijo's character, but it's good to see he's in a happier mindset overall. Now I do think having Zwijo win here was the right decision, and as, like I mentioned, Manabu still looks strong, and Zwijo needed a bounce back win after his loss from Season 1, and he needed to show that he can win without any over-the-top powers or gimmicks that he once craved. We knew what Zwijo's objective was throughout this entire episode. He wanted to help showcase and make Yugioh understand that now isn't the right time to strike, even if Yugioh was eager to strike after obtaining his maximum. Which again, is something that we all thought Yugioh would do once he got the maximum. We thought it would be on level terms, But, as it turns out, they're not. Even Zwijo, if he went up against Phaser at this moment in time, I think would struggle and end up losing overall. Although, it's a duel I would really want to see. Now, as for the duel itself, I really did like it. I thought it was a good and enjoyable duel. Seeing Apocalypse back once again was great, and I loved the new equip spell that they had for him. Seeing an equip spell on a maximum monster was crazy as well. But, again, it was something delightful to see. The animation throughout this duel for both monsters looked stunning, and I can't wait to see more duels like this moving forward. But now, if we move on to the ending and talk about that, an ending that sees Phaser hurting and needed assistance, we're left wondering what all of this means. Could there be some side effects to using the MIK-made maximums? And could each side effect affect other people in different ways? For example, could Manabu's maximum cause him to have the side effects of acting crazy and power-hungry, like we saw from this episode? Whereas Phaser's takes more of a physical effect on his body. Either way, we're led to believe that two things are happening after this ending. Number one, Phaser is vulnerable in some way, shape, or form. And the second thing is that the scroll that Manabu did steal is in fact more important than we first initially thought, because we have three other things to point this out. Firstly, regarding the scroll, it was locked away, and you do only lock up really important things within a safe. So again, we know that it has to play some role within the story. Secondly, Tremolo. He didn't tell Phaser about it being taken. Now this could be for two different reasons. The first reason could be that he does not know the importance of these scrolls. Or reason number two, Tremolo is protecting his brother from more worry, which seems like the more likely case. And the third thing that gets pointed out to us about these scrolls that hints at them being more important is the fact we see a stack of them in this episode's ending as we fade out. It might even be the fact that with these scrolls, they need to take him to a certain location, and once they do, a message will be revealed. Or an even crazier idea could be that the scrolls are a way for the carded to communicate with the living world. So maybe a way that Yuhi can communicate with the rest of UTS is if someone randomly scribbles on this scroll, and then we have a reply from Yuhi on there. That would be crazy, weird, but it could work in keeping the characters that we've lost so far relevant. And I kind of like it, to be fair. But that's going to do it all for me today. Thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please hit that like button, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more things Yu-Gi-Oh! Hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.